What's up, everybody, and welcome back. This is our 21st episode, you guys. Welcome back to Tahyira Show on YouTube. I'm Tahyira Savanna. Thank you so much for tuning back in. This conversation is going to be a real one. When I say real, I mean that it affects me. It's something that I've been talking about publicly, but when I was talking to a few creators, they're like, did you make content about that? And I'm like, no. This one is about Instagram's censorship, also known as shadow ban, of Black creator accounts. Conscious or not, and we're under attack. What the fuck are all these, oh my God, you should promote it on? I don't know, bitch, but we gonna find out. Welcome back to the Tahyira Show. I feel like for this episode specifically, like I'm gonna bring it on camera, but during the primary recording of this, the principal recording, because we're working on acting terms as well, I knew I needed a lot of receipts because a lot of the shit with shadow ban. First of all, let me tell y'all who inspired me to make this content today, right now, in this moment. It's been something I said it out loud, like, you know what, the next video is gonna be on shadow ban. I just don't know what take I'm gonna take. And I just watched the world around me. I found this one creator earlier today. I watched all her videos, so I'm gonna pull it up. This is all in real time, you guys. I'm gonna edit this later.
Need suits. Girl. Hopefully, welcome back to my channel.
I'm just kidding, I found it. It was on a different YouTube channel, that's why I couldn't find it just now. But it was Jackie, I think it's Ina, A-I-N-A. She's like pretty popular. We follow her under the Red Eye Media Group's media account. She used to create, she's a Black beauty blogger, you could say. She took a hiatus. So, you know, she had a video out that was on the top of our like watch, make sure you watch today. And it was why I left YouTube. When I Google anything about shadow ban, I recognize that silence, void of a conversation, when you know it's something that's happened, it's like people saying that I'm scared to talk about it without saying I'm scared to talk about it. My mind is trained in that way when I studied, like I told you guys before, human trafficking. And my thesis statement actually was more around understanding human trafficking, but more so talking about how the lack of public awareness about it, it's lack of awareness. Awareness does everything to change everything, because as much as you want to be cynical, humanitarians like me know, it's really human beings that push the world forward. Shout out to you being a human. This YouTube channel, I usually peg myself as a person that has courage to talk about things that they don't. But when it came to shadow ban, because it happened to me, there was one of these situations, unlike Black Lives Matter, where I really do feel like I'll be trying to talk to save myself. Because other Black people, Black creators weren't talking about it, I'm like, am I the only person that's gonna keep talking about it? To the point where I stopped having like legit friends in my life, like people who I thought I could reach out and be vulnerable with. So this is the part of the inspiration that I pulled courage to tell the story. When I watched Jackie's video earlier today, there's parts in the beginning of the story, and she has 3.5 million subscribers, so clearly a lot more than me. But the fact that she was giving her audience a disclaimer for her own grace, it sounds like we're coming here, you have to show space, like I want you guys to come here. But I also want you to know that I'm more about teaching and explaining what I think things are, because there's a void in which Black women can explain things that happen to them. And that's what Jackie was saying. Jackie was saying, I don't know if y'all understand if you're not a creator, but like I've been dealing with this shit that she's talking about right now for like 10 years. Right, same, the fuck? It's always great to feel merit. That's what goes back when we say the Little Mermaid situation is going down. Thank God for Wakanda forever. Representation matters. Colorism and all those things, because she talked about it explicitly. Gave me courage to come on here of my inspiration for this video. AG Letitia Wright. So when it comes to being the token Black, I mean, I've been in that space for so long that I get fucking tired, you know, like being, even when I was younger, it's like, yeah, we grew up in a mixed community, but it's like when they came for anything Maya Angelou related, I'm like, why I can't bring Michael Whitney, Maya Angelou, like any opportunity to do art, it was like, they had me singing Yankee Doodle Dandy in fucking Glee Club. Can you guys know that? Yankee Doodle Dandy. What the fuck is going on? AG Letitia just shows me, like I'm sure, you know, a lot of these women, Stacey Abrams could be on that list too, these Black women in politics, and that's what I try to tell people. The reason I paid attention to Black women in politics, the Michelle Obamas, the Kamala Harris's, is because that's the line that you have to toe if you're moving towards anything outside of a basic average existence as a Black person. This is what Jackie said in her video that I get in my life, and I'm not as popular as her in the space. She said the most annoying thing to her was when people would come up on her feed and comment, this should have a lot more views. I mean, I get it. from people who knew me before I was on Instagram, before I was just on the blog, people that went to college with me, people that I'm connected to people that I know since elementary school. Like, that's how the space just works. And it's people like them, people that have known me my whole life. You knew me from the Glee Club. You knew me to be this white black girl in a white school master's degree. You knew me to help be in the library writing my thesis, and you'll still comment, oh, this should get more views, or, oh, that's crazy that they're holding you back, Tahyira. And I'm like, this is before we were even discussing shadow ban, right? So this is where I'm gonna show receipts in the video, so you guys kind of have, like I say, I'm big on visual aids, and I'm gonna start adding more visual aids into the production of this for conversations like this. The last series was generational. I was really like going off the dome, but this one I'm trying to show you guys. And then the showing is like, hopefully more of us will just talk about it. So, you know, like the same thing you see behind your screen is the same thing I see behind mine. I already mentioned some of it, the promoted on this page, all that shit. I've seen like 3 people today that I just started following my music brand, and I was engaging back, and I saw them writing back to that person. I'm like, can't you see that that's a Russian bot? But AG Letitia James went after Donald Trump, and she's bringing a civil case to all the Trumps, really. And just it's like, you know, you knew that you were going to get backlash, you know. Viola Davis and them are talking about it in The Woman King about promoting this type of movie, knowing that there's going to be backlash. So it's like being a black American, trying to just live your regular life, and white Americans want to say, why are you guys being racist to anything? Why, when we do something, that's the first thing that's happened? We don't know. Like I say, we come in as the slave, the property, the cattle, the chattel. Harriet Tubman escaped, all these things. It's colonization. So when Viola Davis talks about Letitia James trying to explain why in which this is important to take down a family like Trump or to make a movie like The Woman King, all I hear is Tahyira keep going, Tahyira keep going, Tahyira keep going. Even though you've been living 35 years and you thought the 90s were lit, even them. Really good interview I need to watch on The Breakfast Club, Cardine Harrison and Jasmine Guy. I mean, that shit is like, third person that motivated me. This is all just today. Well, the Letitia James was kind of last week, but I got added to the list today because she tweeted something. Nicki Minaj. I want to shout out to Nicki Minaj. She's like, I'm a little ping right here. I always love Nicki. I feel like Nicki is a person. She's from Queens. I'm from Brooklyn. When I went to LA, though, a lot of people, before I was just still a manager, a lot of people would tell me like, oh my God, you sound like Nicki Minaj. And I'm like, Nicki Minaj, Cardi, we sound similar because we come from the same place. New York City, baby. New York City. So shout out to Nicki. Nicki, what I've always loved about her, she gave me motivation to like do anything as a black woman because she's trini, she's black. We know that she changed her look and whatever. Like, you know, she gave people everything to come at her, and she's still clapping back. She came at YouTube today, like Jackie, saying, it's funny how y'all trying to see us not win. This is Nicki Minaj, Pose just performing that Rolling Loud, Pose just be getting the Vanguard Award, right? Still out here like, YouTube trying to hold back my views. She's unapologetic about it. She don't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? I'm sure she has access to more information than I do and what I do, but research will expand your mind. You know, shit gotta add up. When is they people, Jay-Z line, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Well, in 2022, Jay, we gonna let you right now that those numbers are not legit. Meaning, depression of black accounts based off someone's censorship, which is illegal. I'm gonna go into the conversation that made me cut off a lot of like friends who are just, to me, just not woke. And that went with my pandemic, like, you're a dumbass, I can't have you around me. Go fucking live your life, I don't care. A lot of people didn't understand it. So this is where I'm gonna break this here right now and come back in the next segment with it. A lot of people hate to admit that they engage with more content, they take more content in than they put out. As much as, like I say, that lumber still is not there. If you even sit on the bus, right? Sit on the bus, or not even sitting on the bus, because not only I live in metro areas. I wanna say, maybe at a game, like sports and stuff is coming back out and we could be around people, right? A lot of us were hiding in our house behind these cameras, like all this shit, whatever. Some of us always still come outside and live outside. I pay attention to what's going on. It's only when I'm in certain communities like Williamsburg and I'm hanging out, I'll see people like me put out the camera, whatever. And Hollywood obviously was literally everybody. There was days I would walk down Hollywood Boulevard and there were so many selfie sticks going live. I would like literally be like, yo, follow Tahyira Savanna on YouTube, like random ass people. And that was like kind of the thing. I might end up back in Hollywood because I kind of miss that vibe. I miss being around people who just love the camera and it's like an obsession for storytelling. Another sidebar. But yeah, the friends I had to let go who I couldn't be vulnerable to didn't really understand. And I explained to my husband too, I'm like, yo, it's another situation. Like, for an example, I'm not a baby mother. Yeah, when people have their ghetto ass, ratchet ass situations, I try to present myself as a person that's like, damn, that's fucked up. I understand what you're trying to say. Hell no, that nigga's a fuckboy. But when I was in situations, it was very much like, well, Tahyira, you're already the famous one, so what else do you want? And I'm like, number one, bitch, the fucking you share my shit the way you sharing fucking this other bitch that you don't know. That's number one. And number two, I'm trying to explain to you that I'm being censored. Like, and it's the mentality of like friends and people that you thought that you knew, people that were supposed to be on your time. It's like, oh, well, I mean, it's Instagram, so maybe your content's just not good. And this piece of shit that got nobody talking, it was good. Or, it's not just Instagram that's censoring. Book bans are up. Access to votings are being removed. In mostly black communities, in mostly brown schools. Education under attack since they said that they want to cancel student loan debt. You know how many Republicans created anti-student debt forgiveness bills? Don't pay them back for shit. We don't care that they're smart. We don't value. But rich people, yeah, I mean, they're running businesses. So it's more valuable for me to be a dumbass with millions of dollars than to be a smart ass kind person. That's what the United States, Instagram and Meta and Facebook have said too, right? Yeah, you got to expand your mind. I realized too in that moment, it wasn't just me having the shadow ban conversation. It was realizing, Tahyira, you've outgrown these people. They don't live in your space. And for your space to keep going upward, higher, upward, breaking through, you know what I mean? Out the mud, you got to just let them go, you know? So it's a lot that came for it. It's a lot that came from it, for me not talking about it. And then, like I said, I lost the community that I felt like I felt safe to talk about. I mean, I talk to people now too, and you close one door on a set of people and God opens. Oh my God, look at all these new people. It's like, yeah, legit. Yeah, so that was my courage to speak out. Never be afraid to speak from the heart about things that affect you and matter to you. So let me explain now, since we talked about shadow ban, and this is what we're talking about. Let me explain in the levels of how deep this shit is. To the point where my partner at Forest Nation doesn't even think that we should just cancel the whole Instagram altogether. She's like, we're shadow banned all the time. Like, it comes up in our everyday conversations and meetings. So at one point I thought it was just me. I let the good times roll. Not T-Slaves, not our other brands that were affiliated. Thought it was like literally just me, like people who were creating, because I know I'm conscious. So I'm like, oh, they don't want woke shit out there. I was posting about Trayvon Martin. I was out there. I used my Instagram as the times have changed. Like now even to post, I tried to put an ad behind something that was T-Slaves. It was T-Slaves and Fenty. It's on this YouTube channel. And they blocked it because T-Slaves, the word slaves, has to have a disclaimer. That changed. And I launched T-Slave in 2019. This is 2022. Right? An insurrection happened. Shout out to the January 6th hearings. Make sure y'all pay attention to that too. That's way more important than this. But it has to do with this. People like Dr. Fauci had to step down. People around Dr. Fauci, people like my cousin who I got information from and went down to see him in August. And he told me, he's like, wow, you're brave. And it's like when they can't stop you, they'll try to hurt you. I said, well, I'm not up to the hurt part yet, but they've definitely tried to stop me. Going back to what my partner said in Los Angeles. She went live with Dr. Umar. She called me in this space of like, and that's why I know that these emotions are like super real. And this is not me even high-keying her emotions, but just to understand when you feel mirrored in a situation, community is important. She called me like heck to heck, like, hey, yo, sis, that's crazy. Yo, I'm tight right now. That I'm like, what's going on? Like, we in different time zones. I probably was at some event, but I just remember it playing out. I heard myself in her voice, like the frustration to what the fuck. First of all, it's like, why are you paying attention to me at all? Just because I'm black? That's the first thing. A lot of white people, white creatives, you don't get to say that. Or anything that they're saying is like, well, they're not saying white lives matter. Like, all that shit is negative, you know? Like, I guess being white is like being nothing in this country. And I can understand why people are pissed off from that too. But outside of that, people are not looking for you to also, you know what I mean? You're not a threat. Brings me to the word that I wanted to use here, white fragility. The fragileness of white people's algorithms says that they're so fragile that conversations like people like me, Forest Nation, people like Dr. Umar and Perky's posted, it's enough for the Instagram algorithm to shut down and censor those content than to possibly let it go, that it makes a white person woke. That's what the algorithm says. Like I will tell you all the time, we're not fighting people, we're fighting systems, algorithms, tech, tools, YouTube, whatever the fuck. apple. But what's on the outside of those equations equal? People, blood, skin, hearts, smiles. And we got to remember. And it goes both ways. So I found this Instagram. It's a white guy. When I started following him, like I don't have a screenshot of this. I should have. But I'm now thinking about this content now. I didn't think the shadow ban was going to be so like real. But as we're getting closer and closer to the November elections as well, we're at war right now with the Russians, the Ukraine, all that stuff. People don't think because it's like, yeah, it gets really scary. But I want people to understand education is really, knowledge is power. Education and conversation is how we work towards change. So the question started asking to me, forget that I'm shadow banned and it's mad annoying. And I'm going to continue going through the steps. I told you guys it's the commenting. It's your lives can just be, they control everything. So it's like they're constantly scanning. When I talked to my cousin who worked tech underneath the NIH building and stuff like that, and I explained a little bit more what was happening, he was like, oh yeah, your profile has been tagged as content that, because also when the Ukraine war started, I got an email saying that because my content reaches more people who are outside of my natural demographic, I should put a safety, whatever, just in case the Russians, like my account was something the Russians was going to hack. That's the email that I got from Meta. When I sent that email to people, like, did you get this? Did you get this? Just on some, again, asking, it was very much like, no. Like, I'm like, you want to be fucking shadow banned? Like, I'm confused. I'm just asking, They came out. So yeah, there's hella receipts. There's receipts galore. Anyway, this guy, Jolly, let's see if you see it here. I think you see it. Jolly Good Ginger. He's a white creator. He makes content. Let me see what he puts on his bio. He runs a brand. CEO of No Safe Spaces for Racists. Educate, eradicate. He has a P.O. box. He has 197K Instagram followers as of right now. The last video he posted a video yesterday. It got 85.6K on the reels. It's a white guy coming at white people. He calls them white people for being racist. He always talks like that. His account, and I've seen other people post about it underneath it. It's funny you're not shadow banned. It's funny that you could talk about it. It's funny that your content and you're getting lit. Like his whole content is like content now. It seemed like he started his passion and now it's like you're programming content. He gets to do it and he's not even black. But he's talking to white people about, which I love, which I think is fucking dope. Like, fuck it, listen to them talk about it. But the fact that he didn't get caught up in the algorithm of talking about woke shit is weird. No? Proof that it's not just what you say. It's who the fuck you are that said it. The other part to me that's triggering is that because I know we're already like depressed and this is where depression comes in. There's people that I know, like I said just now in the last segment, I didn't quit, whatever. I know for a fact there's tons of people that did. It's like, well, it doesn't have value and whatever. And that's exactly what the shadow ban is meant to do. What I want people to understand the most from this video is that if Instagram claims, because all the content out here doesn't explain any of that, and I want to go one-on-one with Adam Mosery. If Instagram claims that censorship is illegal or doesn't happen, then why is our accounts not just removed? Why I let the good times roll from posting all these things that supposedly triggered all the shadow ban? Why you don't just delete my account? If it goes against your community guidelines when we go live with Dr. Umar, why you don't delete our account? Why you don't put, we don't want this, we don't want that? Where is it in the writing? You can't run a company, have policies, something happens, and then don't address what it is that's happening. Part of the triggers why I stopped hanging out with a certain groups of friends was like, oh, well, it's a private company and you don't have to be up here. And I'm like, the next people that Letitia is going after is Meta. It's akin to a monopoly. So what other platform are you going to use to post that content? I mean, I'm on other platforms. I'm on Rizzle. I'm on TikTok. You're on other content platforms. But when your competitors and the information and the people you're trying to reach is on one platform and you're going out of your way, outside of your policy and your community guidelines, to hold back a specific niche within that platform, then the whole platform loses its value, no? If black people could have put white people as slaves too, would we still be talking about equity? and reparations? If all kinds of people were slaves? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions. And that's where I leave you guys here with Shadowman. We're definitely going to be back because the plot thickens, like I said, all the time. There's a lot that I didn't mention because I am in seemingly a pending class action suit because I'm coming from Adam and I'm coming from Mark because they know about it. People told them about it and they still acting like they don't care. Shout out to Frances Hogan. If you don't know who that is, please go look her up. She's a whistleblower and we love when they blow the whistle. If you like this video, please subscribe. I think it's like a bell or something. I heard that in Jackie's video. Tap the bell and subscribe. What's up, everybody? It's me, Tahyira Savanna. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Tahyira Show on YouTube. For more content, make sure you hit the bell. We'll be back with more information soon. Thank you guys so much.